Hi, and welcome to the Penn News Spotlight. My name is Dave Gershkorn. Last May, Art Halverson, a businessman from Bedford County, declared his intent to challenge more than 10-year incumbent Bill Schuster in the 2014 GOP primary for a seat representing the 9th District of Pennsylvania in the United States Congress. Now, as May 20th approaches, Halverson's campaign is up and running, and the candidate is being helped by a senior political science major. Justin Glore, first semester senior at the Indiana University of Pennsylvania, is the Indiana County Coordinator for the Art Halverson for Congress campaign, hoping to help claim the 9th District, which includes IUP. Hi, Justin. Thanks for being with us here today.
Thanks for having me.
Yep, no problem. So, how did you get involved working on political campaigns?
Well, back in 2010 is when it all pretty much started for me. I've always kind of had an interest in politics, even when I was younger, but that's when I first started getting interested. After the health care bill was passed, President's health care bill in 2010, I was just a little upset because I didn't agree with it, and I went down to our Allegheny County Republican Committee and started making phone calls throughout the summer and the fall for the Corbett campaign and for the Toomey campaign, and fortunately we had a good year that year, but you have good years and you have bad years,
Yeah.
That was a good year.
So, besides your current work, what other campaigns besides the Corbett-Toomey campaigns have you worked on?
I helped out a county executive candidate, Raja, in Allegheny County in 2011. Did a lot of phone calls and did some doors for him. And in 2012, I was also involved in another Republican congressional primary. I helped out Evan Feinberg, who was a staffer for Rand Paul and Tom Coburn. He was challenging Tim Murphy in the Republican primary, and that was my congressional district. Back home, which it's western Allegheny County and like the South Hills of Allegheny County of Pittsburgh, and includes Washington, most of Washington, I think all of Washington actually, or pretty much all of Washington, and then part of Greene as well, and then a bottom part, southern Westmoreland County, that district.
Great. Mm-hmm. And what kind of work do you currently do on Halverson's campaign?
Right now, well, I've been helping him out for a while. You go back probably to summertime, July, August. I was putting together just different info that I knew we would need because I knew what we would need based on my work for Evan's campaign, and just I knew all this stuff. So I got registered voters lists, mailing addresses, zip codes, stuff like that. The incumbent's voting record. I sent a lot of info. We've got probably 200 pages on the incumbent's voting record from various sources, and lobbying information, the earmarks that the incumbents had. There's a lot of different stuff out there. So I started out doing optional, research. But now we're getting into petition time, so you get signatures to get on the ballot, doing a lot more doors now. And I'm going to be pretty much helping to get volunteers for this county and getting a ground game going in Indiana County.
Great. So why do you believe that Halverson has a good chance of being elected?
Well, the people really in this district don't really like Bill Schuster too much. He's very unpopular in Franklin County. He's very unpopular throughout a lot of the counties in the district. But Halverson particularly, he has a great extensive military record. He served 29 years in the U.S. Coast Guard. He was in charge of reorganizing all the ports after 9/11 on the whole eastern seaboard, which is very difficult work. And he's a good conservative, and I believe he'll represent this district well. And it goes beyond politics with Art, because you get those candidates where you agree with them, but you also, there's a religious aspect to this too, because he's a man of faith, and his daughter's actually a missionary teacher, which I think is pretty awesome. And it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
so,
that's great.
Yeah, and I just believe that he can get the job done for the people, and he's promised to only serve 3 terms, which is 6 years in the U.S. House, which compared to Schuster, his dad was in there since the 70s, and he's been in there for several terms now, and I just believe that we could really benefit from some term limits from a lot of these people in Congress. Not only because I believe that it would, lessen the corruption of a lot of members of Congress, but I think it would make politics a lot more interesting for people too. There'd be a lot more open races and stuff like that. It'd be more exciting.
Yeah. Are you at the Halverson campaign worried because of lower fundraising numbers than your opposition?
Not so much. obviously fundraising is always key in these races, and we know that the Schuster campaign is going to have a lot of money, obviously. We see what they're raising. We also see that they're raising money from groups like Berkshire Hathaway and transportation unions, which doesn't play well in this district. But John Corzine, who was the old governor of New Jersey, and New Jersey's he was a Democrat, and New Jersey's a pretty Democrat state. It's a pretty heavy Democrat state.
Yeah.
He dumped $20 million into his reelection campaign, and he still lost by 5 points. So money's important in these races, but it's not the be-all, end-all of this campaign. Art's out doing doors pretty much on a daily basis. We're reaching probably 200 to 250 voters a day through our campaign offices and stuff like that. Like I said, I'm a volunteer for the campaign. I'm not paid or anything, but they're reaching a lot of voters. So, and Art and his wife were just doing doors, I believe, somewhere, probably in Bedford. I didn't ask where, but they said they talked to about 120 voters. So, and they said they're getting good support. So, the ground game is the most important thing, I think, at this stage, and getting on the ballot. And then we'll see after petitions, and we'll see where we're at when it comes to money and stuff.
Yeah. If, unfortunately, he loses, what will you do personally between May and November?
Well, that's a very good question. Probably be at home. I'm actually got a couple different things floating around. I'm thinking, if he wins, obviously, pretty much set for I'll pretty much be helping him. But I was thinking about possibly trying to work for one of the companies that drill in Marcellus Shale, and that could be something that you could later turn into a political job too. You start out working something like a blue collar type situation, and then you work your way up to that, that legislative position or something along those lines.
Yeah. Are you politically involved on campus as well?
I am a member of the IUP College Republicans, so I do go to the regular meetings, and we try to pass stuff out, in the Oak Grove and stuff. During Election Day, we were pretty active last year. We had a table out there in the Oak Grove for a few days, and we're just passing out materials, trying to get people to the meetings. So I try to be as politically involved as I can on campus, too.
Yeah. And is Halverson planning on doing anything at IUP, since that is within the 9th District?
I'm not sure if we'll do anything specifically at IUP. That would be something I'd have to talk to him on. But I know that we're going to try to do an event with the Indiana Armstrong Patriots at the Indiana Fire Hall, and it's not too far, right up on Philly Street, so it would be something that, IUP students would be able to come to as well. So, but I'm not sure specifically if we're going to do anything on campus or not. I'd have to discuss that with them.
And as someone who's politically minded, how would you recommend like-minded students or students who are interested in getting involved in other campaigns, how would you recommend for them to get involved on campus or off campus?
I would say I'd say go to like the different groups that you would have. If you have your, the college Republicans or the college Democrats, try starting out there. But it's funny because I don't even actually remember how I first heard about art. It could have very well been a Politics PA article or something. I'm always reading stuff like that, so I feel that reading those kind of articles, Real Clear Politics, Politics PA, Politico, those kind of articles can help you see who's running and what's going on. And I'm constantly following up on, not just this race with Art, but I'm paying particular attention to the U.S. Senate race in Kentucky and some other Republican primaries that are going on. So,
great. Well, Justin, thanks for being with us here today.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
And this has been the Penn News Spotlight. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.